Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Curtis. Hope your summer's going well. Today I am going to show you how to make a very easy to make and relatively healthy dessert. One of the requests that I got from the blog online was to make a healthy dessert. And so what I'm going to show you how to do today is to make something called apple crisp. Now, I don't use oats in my apple crisp, so I've heard some people refer to that as apple's Betty. But my family, we've always called it apple crisp. But it's very easy to make, and it doesn't require a crust. I will show you how to make the crumbly top on it, which is awesome. And all you need are apples, a little bit of orange juice, a casserole dish, and for the crumb topping, some flour, sugar, and butter. Again, welcome back, and I'm looking forward to sharing this recipe with you. Okay, the most tedious part of this recipe is the peeling of the apples. So, easy if you have an apple or potato peeler here. All you do is start at the top, turning the apple. And now once I got done peeling the apple, it's time to core it. So I will take a knife and just go over the top, make a square cut. I turn it over and I do the same thing. And then I use my thumb and I push it through. And now I've got a cored and peeled apple. And then I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to slice it. And however you slice your apples doesn't really matter as long as they're uniform. You don't want one that is extremely thick and one that's extremely thin, because then they're going to cook differently. So as long as your apples are all pretty much sliced to the same length, I don't care how you slice them. Once I finish slicing the apples, I'm going to put them in a bowl with cold water in them. And it's going to keep them from turning brown. Now that the apples are completely sliced, I'm just going to put them in a glass casserole. Spread them out evenly. I'm going to take about a quarter cup of orange juice. It's not going to make it taste orangey or anything. And take a little quarter cup of orange juice, pour it over, adds a little acid which helps with the breakdown of the apples. And then some ground cinnamon. I'm just going to lightly dust over the top. And now my filling is all done. From here, now I'm going to make the crumb topping. So here we go to make the crumb topping. I've got my 1 stick of softened butter, 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of sugar. You know what, I'm going to add some more cinnamon to this. That should be good. And I just take my hand and I start mixing it all together. After about a couple minutes of making sure everything is mixed well together, now all I do is I will take my casserole, grab the crumbs and just sprinkle all over the top of the apples my crumb topping. If you decide that you want to use, let's say, another fruit other than apple, maybe you want to make peach. Peaches and some of the other fruits out there get kind of watery. So what you'd want to do with your peaches is mix in some cornstarch, and this will keep the liquid from getting way too watery after it comes out of the oven. Now that I have my apples covered with my topping, it's time to put it in the oven for about a half an hour. Keep an eye on it. You want to start seeing that it's bubbling all over, and that way you know once it's bubbling in the center, it's all done. I'm ready to put the apple crisp in the oven. Up to this point, it's taken me a total of maybe 7 minutes. Majority of the time to core and peel and slice the apples, but everything else was just mixing and putting it in the casserole. So this is it before, and we'll see you in about a half an hour. All right, I have taken the apple crisp out of the oven. Looking closely in the middle, got bubbles coming up, so all around the edges. This is done. I'm going to let it cool, and it'll be ready to eat. Okay, it is done and ready to eat. Let me sum up what I did. All I did was peel, core, and slice some apples and put them in a casserole. I added a little bit of orange juice and some cinnamon. And for the topping, I took some sugar, some flour, butter, and a little more cinnamon, and I made the crumb topping and sprinkled that over the top. I then put that in the oven at 350 degrees. It ended up taking about 45 minutes for it to be completely done, and now it's ready to eat. So with my spoon, I'm going to scoop some up, put it in a bowl. The crumb topping is awesome. It's not the healthiest, but this is why it's called dessert and not a salad. You can take some ice cream, awesome, with some vanilla ice cream on it. Take some. This is really, really good. It's been made the exact same way that I've had it in my family since I was little. This is full of nostalgia for me. I hope you enjoy my apple crisp, and I'll see you next time on Cooking with Curtis.